a difference between a team leader and a manager? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about what the definitions of a team leader and a manager are, as well as what you can do to be the most effective team leader or manager. The reality is, there is a difference between team leaders and managers, but both of those roles need to hone the same 5 skills. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the difference between team leaders and managers, as well as how you can hone in on the skills you need to develop to be the best team leader or manager. Let's start with managers. Managers manage people. They are the leaders on a team to whom an employee reports into. And those managers are typically in charge of 2 elements of the work: the day-to-day operations and tasks, as well as the more strategic picture of what that team is trying to accomplish as a collective. Important to doing that is understanding each individual's unique skill set, what they need to do in order to develop their skills and to help the team achieve its goals. So there's the daily operations element of the work, as well as the big picture strategy and the focus on people on the team. The manager does it all. Now, team leads, on the other hand, may or may not actually manage people. I've worked in organizations where team leaders did not manage people, but rather they were leading the team in the day-to-day operations. They made decisions about operational tasks, they role modeled the best behavior for the team, and they were a go-to mentor for employees who needed a little bit more support. But those team leaders did not directly manage the development of those employees. Meaning, for example, they did not perform the performance reviews. And they did not make decisions, for example, on salary and promotions. Those were left to the managers. In other organizations, team leaders are managers. They do manage a small subset of a larger team, and they are in charge of those kind of people development decisions. So it's important to get clarity on whether or not a team lead role actually manages people or is simply in charge of the day-to-day operations. Oftentimes, organizations will decide that the team lead role is a good first step into management before taking on the entirety of management tasks in a formal manager role. No matter how your organization defines team leader versus manager, there are 5 key skills that anyone in any form of leadership role needs to develop in order to create the best workplace culture. And we are passionate about unleashing the power of culture to inspire both businesses and people to reach their full potential. So if you're passionate about that too, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have a number of videos around workplace culture best practices, and we hope that you'll check those out. So if you're a team leader or a manager, what are those 5 leadership skills that are critical for you to develop? The first is clarity. We do research on workplace culture, and we have found that there is one thing that drives a strong workplace culture more than anything else, and that is clarity of the results you're trying to achieve. Simply getting clear with your team about what the goals are can improve your culture strength by 44%. We studied dozens of organizations over numerous years, thousands of employees, and found that having clear key results that are meaningful, measurable, and memorable will improve your culture strength before you do any other interventions. So if you're looking to be a better team leader or a better manager, start with getting super clear on your results that you want to achieve. Make sure that they're meaningful, measurable, and memorable. The next skill that is critical to develop is the skill of empathy. Team leaders and managers need to understand the experiences that their employees are having and have empathy for the challenges that they may be experiencing, both in the workplace and outside of the workplace. Let me give you an example. Mental health in the workplace is something that many people are talking about these days. Leaders want to be cognizant that there are different mental health issues that frequently show up in the workplace and create space for those. One of the ways to do that is to realize that people's mental health issues show up in many different kinds of ways. For example, did you know that 30% of Americans have an anxiety disorder at some point in their lives? And one of the symptoms of anxiety is having a negative reaction when given constructive feedback. So oftentimes out there, if a team leader or a manager tries to give their employees constructive feedback and they are received with a negative reaction, the team leader or the manager might think, that person's being really unprofessional. Well, another way of thinking about that or reacting to that is to think, well, maybe this person is having some issues or challenges outside of the workplace that has created that experience to be more challenging than average. Having empathy for that is critical for team leaders and managers to create more understanding so that they can more effectively support their employees. The third skill that team leaders and managers need to develop is the ability to be transparent, to give employees on the team insight into the overall big picture of what's going on in the business and what we're trying to achieve. A lack of transparency and a lack of visibility can create fear in employees. Not only do they feel unimportant, but they feel fearful that they don't understand what's going on above their manager's level. I was talking to the leader of culture at one of the Fortune 50 companies in the world, and I was asking him about whether or not he felt transparency was important in the workplace, and he said absolutely. It's one of the most critical things to create psychological safety for his employees. And he said, when an employee does not feel safe in an organization, they are so distracted by that fear that they're unable to thrive in our culture. And so it must be combated. Visibility helps reduce that fear. The fourth skill is agility. And agility is the ability to course correct when something isn't working. It's adaptability to change. Change can be hard, and team leaders and managers need to help their team navigate that change by being agile themselves, by demonstrating what it is to course correct, to go in a different direction, even if it's unexpected. Fear comes up for people when change happens in an organization as well. And so the ability to be agile and foster agility within a team is a critical skill for team leaders and managers alike. And finally, every team leader and manager needs to embrace a culture of accountability. Accountability can sometimes be a scary word. Accountability can be perceived as the idea that I want to make sure that my people do their job, and that if someone doesn't do their job, they're going to be punished. But the reality is that accountability is a shared skill. It's a mindset in which we all embrace being accountable to each other in order to drive results. It's rising above one's circumstances to embrace challenges and decide that we are going to accomplish what we set out to accomplish. Accountability does not look like blaming others. When encountering challenges within an organization, someone with an accountability mindset will say, let's figure out how we can solve this, not I can't get my job done because of this challenge. That's an accountability mindset and is critical to both team leaders and managers to not only develop in themselves, but in their team. If you're a team leader or a manager and you're interested in creating a culture that drives results, or you're interested in learning more about how to create a culture of accountability, then I invite you to go to gift.culture.io, or you can click on the link in the description below. We have tools and resources there that will help you on your journey.